Hey, what's up, guys? Rob here. What you're about to listen to is an excerpt from the weekly podcast that I'm a part of called The Juice is Loose. It's just a smaller part to a much larger conversation. So if you are interested in hearing the full episode or subscribing to the podcast or any of the guests on the podcast, you can do so by following the links in the description below. Thanks, and I'll see you next time.
I saw one that looked like two, what are they called? What's the PlayStation Moves. It looked like
It does kind of.
PlayStation moved on both sides, and then you slide, and it had like a little, what do you call it, like a little bar, and then the bar led into basically the case where you slid in your gamepad or your gamepad, your tablet
screen, the tablet screen, yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was very ergonomic, obviously. Again, these things, I'm talking about something I saw like 3 years ago. These things are not anything like new. So I don't think this is, even hinting at what the
NX
we'll get
into that in a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely think as a piece of tech it is cool. Like as soon as I saw it when it was blowing up all over the place, I was like, wow, that's actually like pretty neat, And for me though, like the portability and like the screen itself isn't what's exciting. The thing that actually made me think it was really neat was when I saw someone just holding the two controller things in their hands and playing on a TV. I was like, actually, I kind of like the free hand thing. Yeah. It reminded me of like when the Wii was brand new.
Yeah, I've always liked that.
Yeah, when the Wii was brand new, if like you guys remember, like I couldn't believe I could have like my hand on like the arm of the couch and my other hand in my lap and just kind of like game.
It's kind of chill.
I was like, this is so chill. Like this is so cool, and it reminded me of that. So the controller made me more excited than the screen or the portability possibility of it. I didn't really care about that.
Well, for me, it was like, oh, this could be something that would get me to play mobile games, especially.
That's what I was thinking.
Further.
So would you take something like that with you? You guys would do that, you think?
I mean,
probably.
I'd definitely probably bring it over parents' house or take it to work for lunch, but still just having games that might be exclusive to that device, that'd be pretty cool, being able to play with standard controls and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, I might play most of it at home, but...
you mean like actual mobile games, not like console games on the go?
Well,
like
a lot of console
quality.
A lot of mobile games are... I mean, some of them now look as good as an Xbox 360 game, but they just don't have the control options.
Right.
So that was what I was thinking. So I'm not like... It's not like a portable gaming device only. It would be like, all right, I'm going to get a tablet, but I also can get this one because then you can have these controllers. And I do want to point out that earlier this year, I don't know if it was on the AGL podcast or The Juice is Loose, before any of these breakable controller rumors came about, I thought of an idea of taking the Pro controller and having it split in the middle and connect magnetically so that somebody, and then having sensors like where the shoulders buttons would be, like somewhere around there, and then to have it work. You would be able to pull it apart and have that freedom to play with your hands separate, have standard controls, and also have like separate motion in each one. And I had made that one of my early predictions for possibly what Nintendo could do with the NX.
Oh, Nintendo Damas.
Yeah, and it's like that was long before, and I forgot about that completely until you just shared that story of seeing the guy with the two halves playing it. And I was like, man, I did predict that. I think it was on the AGL podcast, like maybe February or March.
It's certainly a cool enough idea. Like, I think that there's something to the tech, regardless if it was a Nintendo thing or a console thing or just like its own mobile thing. There's something to the idea. I think it's pretty neat.
Yeah, and I think, maybe if they can't sell the whole tablet thing, just take that controller and try to come up with a standard signal, Bluetooth, whatever, for other tablets to be able to use and be able to use that on basically any tablet. So maybe that could happen in the future. But Robert, I don't think I've heard you give your thoughts on it yet.
I think it looks cool. Like in terms of like playing mobile games, it would definitely get me to play it more. Like when I was the other day, I was at work, and there was just some guy sitting on the chair, and he was just mashing the screen, and he was playing some UFC game, and I'm like, it would be so weird to play a mobile game like that if you had those detachables right on the sides and you could use the actual buttons. That maybe would be better to actually.
Does that make Minecraft better, you think, on mobile?
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Because again, you're doing the touch screen, and you're also covering your screen.
Mm-hmm.
That's annoying. To me, I think that's ridiculous. So if you could have that detachables, you could totally play Minecraft way easier and much better, in my opinion, for that, for sure.
Yeah, that was my
Alright.
biggest problem with mobile is that you're basically covering up the interface. You can't see, and when you're moving the controller or whatever
Yeah, they have the little circles where you.
yeah,
can,
those are horrible.
Yeah, and it's never responsive anyway. It's like
yeah,
it's a
there's no
mess.
feedback. So
It's
all right.
it's ridiculous.
So let's take it to the next step. Two things. Let's say this is a very close representation of the NX. So but added in the tablet docks and it hooks into the TV and maybe it gives it more graphical power with the two connected. And then instead of the things being, just square like they are, they're very ergonomic. And you put the two together and maybe there's a piece in the middle that goes and it feels like a pro controller, a standard controller. Some added touches that Nintendo would bring. So let's say that is very similar to what we see. So let me ask, this is the first question. Would you then be like, what the hell, Nintendo, this isn't a new experience? Because this video was shown over a year ago, and then there's other close, things that T was talking about that were even further back. Would you be like completely, you lied to us? This, the NX is a new experience. If it's basically that, but adds,
I'm about to say, as gamers, we're lied to all the time with delays and shit. I don't give a damn as long as it's fun to play with. I don't care.
Yeah, like for me, it's like I would be disappointed because I have the evolution to revolution theory, and this would not be a revolution to me. This would not be enough to be a revolution.
It would prove that Nintendo did not watch your video, sadly.
Exactly.
Which is
I
a crime.
would still enjoy it because it's going to have Nintendo games, and they're going to be prettier and all that good stuff, and the online will likely be a whole lot better for the console. So all that will be great. But for me personally, it will be a little bit disappointing because there's not enough there for me for that. Whoa, that what is the it for this console? And that if that is the it's not enough. And it's like, okay, if you're looking at first of all, if you're looking at like a Wii remote, and nunchuck kind of deal, because that's what it kind of reminds you of. Obviously, if you have the two separate controllers and two different hands, and you can move them where you want. Unlike the Wii remote nunchuck, you didn't have to charge the nunchuck. So now you're gonna have to charge in the other side of the controller too. I just think it can end up being confusing, having to worry about those two pieces and all these pieces together. But go ahead.
That could become cumbersome. Yeah.
So Robert, how about you? Would whether it's cool and has great games or not, would any part of you be like, why did you say this is such a new experience when if it's just like pretty similar to that, then obviously it isn't a new experience.
Yeah. Well, it's what I've been saying for forever. A console handheld hybrid, I would absolutely love it. And I mean, like I said, I've been wanting something like this. So the fact that if it is that, I would have zero problems with it. And the one thing about the charging, maybe you could, I mean, I don't know if that would make sense, but maybe you could click them both together and then charge it as one? I don't know. That might not make sense.
That's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah.
So, Terrell, you said you wouldn't care. How about you, Rob? Would it bug you at all that they basically lied about it being such a new experience, if that's what it was?
I mean, specifically to the point of it feeling like a new experience or not, I would say that, it would feel a little bit untrue. Because it isn't really like a new experience. It is so similar. I made this point on a video a long time ago. The idea of a Nintendo device with a screen on it that you can touch and hold in your hand goes back to 2004, over a decade. So it's like, well, there's really nothing new about that. There's nuances to it that's new, like, oh, I pull the controllers off and put in the TV. But it is similar enough that, yes, I would feel like it's not truly a new idea, specifically from a control standpoint. And that part, to me, would be disappointing.
And if you give me cartridges and no mandatory installs, boy, that would feel new.
Yeah.
That's really when I wouldn't give a fuck. I'm like, oh, I'm good.
Yeah, and I mean, if we I don't know if we're talking about just what we feel about it in general, or just the idea of it being
just right now compared to the phrase that it's a new experience.
A new experience, because it wouldn't feel like a new experience, I don't think.
No, and I think it would really kill the reveal if it's this.
The reveal is dead.
I think the reveal would be just completely flat, and other than the games, the actual hardware. And I don't know that people would get over it very quickly.
That's a really good point, but let me ask you guys this. Do you feel like part of the reason it would take the wind out of the reveal is just because this had been a rumor for so long? That it was basically, because if this is true, all of a sudden it's like, wow, all these rumors were actually real.
That and the fact that it's really nothing new, I
Do you
think.
think that
Not just because of the rumors, but because of things that already exist.
Were something amazing, and then it came out that that's what it was. That would be fine, but this isn't amazing to me.
I kind of feel, and it's like I agree with you guys in the world we live in now, but I sort of feel like if no one had ever thought of the exact concept the way it is, and Nintendo showed it, I feel like it would actually be pretty revolutionary seeming at first. People may catch on after a couple weeks, but I think the reveal would end up being like, wow, I never thought of that. It's a screen you put on your TV, and then the controllers come off. And like, if it was, you have to put yourself in the mindset of we've never heard of it before.
Well,
and I think that it might still be exciting.
You have to erase, like, the merging there.
Well, let me just point this: the reaction to the actual X300 wasn't very good. So I don't know.
True.
Just slapping Nintendo on it would make the difference.
Well, a Nintendo presentation with Reggie showing a brand new Metroid running on it and a Fire Emblem. I mean,
that would be much different than what they had.
But the hardware itself didn't wow people. It didn't really.
Yeah.
It didn't really.
Well, the Nintendo Touch, because and I think you mentioned this, Juice, maybe there are Nintendo nuances that they would even put onto this tech if like, let's say they did purchase it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
that's because they don't have. Oh, sorry.
I mean, there just could be a lot of changes to it, and I'm going to use this as my chestnut until it's confirmed wrong. I think that the mobile experience could be something where it could make this idea better. If Nintendo has an infrastructure for the NX and the My Nintendo that takes advantage of that as a controller, then all of a sudden it's more than just the unit. It's a unit and a way to play the unit that changes, kind of. That's I could see Nintendo doing something like that, but I still agree with you. It would definitely be less enticing.
And it's got to have those NVIDIA AMD Tegra chips with 12, 20 titty flops per second. And we talking.
Man, those some big ass titties.
Because I mean, judging from just the tech today and seeing the visuals on that thing, the X300, I would think that the portable side of it would be almost Wii U graphics at that point. And then if it, docks and gets more power, then because I'd be completely happy with a portable that had Wii U graphics. Like, to me, that would be amazing,
on a screen that small, it would look amazing.
Well, it has to have at least Wii U graphics if it's going to run Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, it might run Breath of the Wild like Xenoblade Chronicles 3D, with
Lord.
way lesser. But
don't say that.
So here's the other one of the other things I want to ask. So if that's true, T already hit on it. You got these two separate controller things. You got a tablet. All those need to be charged. Then you got a dock station. I'm guessing you have a power supply for the dock station. You have some kind of charging power supply for the tablets and the controllers. At that point, would Nintendo even try something like that after the Wii U? Because to me that sounds very complicated. Lots of things to plug in.
You got wire spaghetti.
So this is kind of leaning towards me saying that I don't think the NX is really anything like this.
Sure.
That's kind of where, because of this, I don't think they would take that chance to have all this stuff to have to plug in and be charged separate. Like, I just don't see that happening. So I guess.
Well, let me ask you, what if all you need was like two wires, right? You can connect the controller. I mean, not connect, you charge the controller, and then the docking station also charge the tablet, sort of thing.
Well, what if you're on the go and you like, let's say you take a plane trip, you got to charge the thing.
What if the tablet charges the controllers?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
But then that's going to kill your battery life even worse.
Well, that's why there's like seven different ways.
They
can have like 7 different ways.
That is bad design.
That's a lot of what ifs. So let's say best case scenario. The dock station charges the tablet when you're at home. There's another one that charges the tablet with the controllers attached when you're on the go.
A separate device? So two charging devices? Is that what you're saying?
One would just be the dock.
Yeah.
Okay. Power supply. The other one would be
the charger.
Just a regular plug?
Like the 3DS charger or something.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But you have to have the controllers attached. They'll charge everything all at once. To me, that's just asking a lot of your users to know to have the controllers.
It's asking
plugged
a lot
in.
of kids. Is
Yeah.
What it is.
So I guess
And just seeing those two controllers in two different hands, people are going to think Wii. I mean, it's just gonna go there by looking at that. And if they want to, quote unquote, get away from the Wii and Wii U stuff, like they said, that even if it doesn't do motion controls, that just feels like it feels like, oh, I'm playing with the Wii without the motion controls. Like, is that a message?
It would probably have gyro in it too, so it would just feel just like it.
Yeah, I'm sure they would put something like that in there.
It would be.
Well, when you say get away from the Wii, like in what way?
Well, they want to get away from the Wii style of.
They said that the NX is. How'd they phrase it? Nothing like the Wii or Wii U, or it's. Not like.
They did say something like that.
Not just
I can't remember
the
quote.
fact where they said it's not the successor. They actually said something.
Yeah, they said something along
completely like it's not Wii or Wii U like.
You won't interact in your games the same way or something.
So, I mean, I think everything we've just said pretty much, to me, confirms that it's not this thing with breakable controllers just because of all that. Because of the failure of the Wii U, I think if the Wii U was a success, this would be very likely, but
it does seem like this would be way more of a risk, and not a sure thing, and it's too cumbersome, and like you guys have said, it's asking so much of the user. And like Nintendo, they love the simplicity of it. That's like their bread and butter, and that's how when they've been successful, that's how they rope in so many people, is being simple.
And it doesn't sound like something that Ubisoft would be happy about.
Yeah, that's a good point too. And like people could imagine if you lost one of those two things and you just have half a controller.
Yeah,
like,
you take it out somewhere and you lose that damn controller somewhere.
Yeah, you're like, oh, where's my left one?
Hotel room or something, whatever you're doing.
It's set up for disabled children. That's what it is.
But you make a good point though, T. Like the fact that so many developers, because more than just Ubisoft, like a lot of developers are like pretty much speaking pretty highly about what Nintendo's doing. And like, would this be the thing that would make everyone so thrilled? Like,
I think not. It's too much like.
It's not impossible, but it doesn't feel like it.
If it is, we're missing something. There's something else that we're not getting. If this is partially true, then that's fine, and we're missing something that really doesn't make us go, whoa. Not all of it. Yeah, I kind of think that
there could be something to some of it. Yeah,
well,
go ahead.
I was gonna say the third part of this was gonna be, is it where there's smoke, there's fire situation, or is it because the first person that leaked this and another person said it, and it's just all rumor upon rumor had led to, because you heard it so much, it's become fact for people.
Yeah.
I think there's
a game of telephone.
I think there's more chance of that than where there's smoke, there's fire, because it just seems like people have just been saying it so long that they're just true at this point.
Isn't this mostly based on patents and all that kind of stuff? Where
some of it's based on
a lot of it looks like patents.
A lot of it came from patents first, and then people started. I don't think dropping rumors about this is what it's actually going to be. But remember the patent of the Hey Arnold controller, Rob's favorite controller.
Yeah, I think the patents are playing around with variation ideas.
Yeah,
and I think maybe this is just me. Maybe it could be kind of the newness of it is like a more of an extension. We're thinking of it as a console, thinking of it as, oh, it's just going to be like a tablet with like controllers, but maybe it's more of an extension of like the 3DS. Like it's like a weird fusion between the gamepad and the 3DS. And
yeah, but what they do, both those systems compared to their predecessors did way less. I don't know. I'm trying to put myself in Nintendo's mindset. They know they need to get back to the selling, 100 million. I just don't know that.
Well, I guess we kind of have to bring up the question: what are they ditching from the Wii and Wii U era, and what are they keeping? Because once you figure out what they're keeping, kind of helps you dictate how the controller will be. Like, are we going to get rid? Are we leaving touchscreen gaming? Like, are we leaving?
I think it's hard for Nintendo to assume that the console gamer is going to care about playing games on the go, and vice versa. Because for this thing to be cool, you have to care about that stuff. No, like you have to care about
the portable aspect of it. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they would. Again, it's about the risk. I don't know if they would make that calculation that we're going to get these console guys to like gaming on the go, and vice versa.
But see, if that's the case, then it brings the question: why even bother having it where it docks in the first place?
Exactly.
Yeah, then it's like you completely changed the console at that point. It's like, what's the point of having a dock if
Well, just dock's better than just plugging in an HDMI cord, I think, to your TV to
Yeah,
but you're
to
still
a tablet.
And then you have to care. You have to care about that. You're
Well,
like,
Yeah.
you're still plugging an HDMI cord to the dock to the TV.
Yeah,
so,
but
I mean,
it's a better for most people. Like I like charging my Wii gamepad in the dock. I don't like just plugging the cord in. I just
Oh yeah, that's
think
the only way I do it. Yeah.
because that tablets can already plug into a TV through the HDMI and you can game that way. So that's absolutely not 0% new
Yeah,
in
there's
any
nothing new
way.
about that at
That
all.
aspect,
I've already done that.
Yeah.
at least with the docking, then it would, if they have an actual patent for what's that supplementing computing device that can
Yeah,
actually,
that's been people have talked about that for
and
a
that's
while
a literal,
now.
that's an actual patent that just cleared, and like to me, like that's what takes it to another
And not only
level.
have I done that, I think this is even cooler. I've thrown stuff from my iPhone onto my smart TV. Like
Mhm.
if I was watching a movie or something, just flick of the finger.
but that's what I'm
And it's
saying,
on, like, why
See, that's
even
we've
use a
we've
dock?
advanced so far in technology. Like, what
It doesn't
could
make
you-
sense to have that cumbersome
Well,
dock
you've
sitting
got to
there.
have
And I
that.
can go right to my TV with it. Like
You
it
got to have the
just-
Apple
Well,
TV
but
thing.
that's
Well,
the thing. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, Nintendo doesn't have their own TV, so the dock would serve as like the console that you could talk between. I think is what it
Yeah,
would do. at
maybe
that
it doesn't
point.
plug. Maybe it
Well, I
doesn't
mean,
have to dock in, but
Well, it's just that the iPhone is compatible with my smart TV. It's not like
you don't have to buy the Apple TV box.
No, I don't have a box.
Yeah,
It's-
I think he's right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I
don't
can
need
do
a
that
box
with
for that.
YouTube on my phone, but just anything, you can just have your phone mirrored onto the.
Yeah, I can
On the
mirror
TV.
stuff on
Yeah.
Just
TV.
like a Chromecast,
Well, that's
same
cool.
idea as Chromecast.
What's the Apple version?
Ass.
What's that?
Well, Chromecast. You
Well,
gotta
it
have
depends on
something-
what TV you have. It's all
Yeah.
about the TV and that.
So it's built into the TV.
Yeah, it's the TV
Yeah.
that does it. It allows you to do it.
Oh,
There's like
wow.
smart TVs and stuff.
Yeah, but I'm saying my smart TV lets me connect my phone through YouTube, but that's it. Like I can't go to.
Oh, really?
I couldn't go to Netflix and just like, oh, I'm watching on my phone. Swipe, it's on my TV.
Really?
So is that how it works?
I haven't tried Netflix, but
Or is it a specific app on your phone that does it? That's what I'm trying to get to.
yeah, okay. I don't have my. See, I don't even have that phone with me right now because it's broken.
Mm.
So I haven't done it in a while.
Anyway,
Hashtag tech
But
talk.
my tablet, I think, can do it. I don't know. I haven't tried it on the tablet.
So to me, that sounds way too risky and way too much like something that's already been done. So I would be really shocked if it's like this. But I guess if it is, it just really depends on the games. The games are gonna be great,
Yeah.
and I don't care. But I'm just wondering because I know Robbie brought it up. The smoke, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just in this day and age with the way information can come out, I mean, it could completely be nothing like what we've seen. And I actually believe it's mostly just a home console with something about the interface that I can't even think, predict or comprehend.
Yeah.
I think it's mostly a box. It's not going to be very mobile. That's how I feel about it.
I
As
would
far
say
as
it's not
what makes
always
it-
fire or there's smoke.
Wonder what's the improvement? Like what's the thing that makes it unique and
I
different?
can't. Yeah,
Sometimes
I
when
mean,
there's
that's
smoke,
the big mystery.
sometimes when there's smoke, there's somebody blowing smoke. It's not even just fire.
It's a good point.
It could.
So yeah, that's the gist of it. I think it's more just smoke, and I guess get everyone else's.
Well,
Take.
let me ask you this: do we want to talk about what we would think if this was true? Let's just say, like, beyond that.